Ladies and gentlemen. Hey.
Oh.
Sorry.
Here we go.
We were singing James Bond.
Can't say that.
We can?
No, Mission 6 is going to hit us up.
Mission
shit.
6. Shout out Mission 6.
Shout out, nerds.
Cease and desist.
Folks, welcome back to The Producer Lounge. This is episode 120. If you don't know, this is our broadcast about music production. We're just going to sit here and chit-chat about music production. We got some homies usually on, and today we have a special guest. It's Doctor.
Le Doctor.
MD, PhD, all the...
ADHD.
Yep.
Definitely.
ADD, HIV,
Element of
AIDS.
LSD, all the things.
Mm-hmm.
My mom let me pick out my own clothes today.
Kids, remember. Folks, welcome back. Here we are. We're a little late. Sorry about our tardiness. But here we are. We're live. We are recording. Good. I had to double check.
Yeah, we'll do the full hour.
100%.
Easy.
If not more. Let's see. Let's see what happens.
The time passes super quick.
Ready, guys? Go.
Ready to go. What? Do we explain what we're doing? I'm high.
Yeah, we explained it. We're just going to talk about music production.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The people know.
Yeah.
Guys been hot on any techniques,
Dude.
plugins?
Dude, so...
Techniques?
Dude.
I mean, we are always...
Dude.
I noticed you don't have a seatbelt in this chair. All right, I'm down for the danger.
I've been... Caleb and I are rounding up some older tunes to get ready to do some releaseage.
Sweet. See, that's a really good... Like, do you guys delete projects if you're not, like, satisfied with them?
No,
or?
I don't really delete anything.
Good. You should never delete your shit.
I don't delete
You're building yourself an armor, like, so maybe your composition, your overall fidelity, everything is just not sitting well, but those elements could be used later. I've learned that. Hard.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah. This is exactly what I'm about to talk about. The fucking... So I've been going... No, you're good. You're just a fucking wizard, bro.
Yeah, right.
You just know. It's almost like you try.
Don't let my parents know that.
Hey.
I've been going dreadfully into Ableton to pull up old projects to stem them out so I can bring them into Bitwig and actually use a real DAW.
It's a thankless job.
A thankless job.
It's actually the best for me because I need to be in like a good space to create.
100%.
But like doing this kind of a thing, I could be pissed off, sad, happy, but it doesn't really matter what my mood is. I can go and pull things up to 0, up to a limiter, print them. Like that's the thing I can do.
So when you say good space, are you talking about like your environment or
like if I'm personally, I don't like unlike what was that dude that came in here the other day? Amoeba. unlike this guy Amoeba that came in here. Fucking legend of the lo-fi world. He was like, I only produce when I'm sad. And I'm like, I am the opposite of that.
Again, it sounds very, very niche, but like fucking dude, it's like Jackson Pollock, you know, what made sense to him was just smearing shit on a canvas and it sold for $13 million, you know? Like,
Right.
Everybody's got their methodology.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, continue. Excuse me.
You bastard.
Sorry.
Fucking Jackson Pollocking.
Yeah.
All over a canvas.
So in good space, you mean kind of like overall
Jackson,
just like a good mood or...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like being in a bad... I can't be bummed out.
Yeah.
And try and like create like something that I think people will enjoy.
Yeah, no, it's hard to get motivated.
You know?
Yeah,
I
that's
can,
for sure.
I just don't do that.
Yeah.
I can kind of get behind it. Like one of my first EPs I ever made, which it's not good, but like all the songs I wrote in like 5 days after I broke up with my girlfriend,
right?
Well, shit.
Who we were dating for like 7 years.
Tom Petty covers?
And it was...
Sorry.
Fuck Tom Petty, dude.
Hey,
fuck Tom
Shout
Petty.
out, fuck Tom Petty.
Fuck Tom Petty, dude.
Fuck Tom Petty 2024, dude. That's my platform, dude.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. I
vote
get
for me,
behind
but-
that.
I'll see you in November.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was able to do that. Like, I'm not.
It-
I don't tie it super heavy to like an emotion or not. It's either there or it's not.
It's a spark, yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
It's
like
pretty
it's
binary.
just yeah. It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
Finding the
binary, it seems.
motivation on the low ends is definitely really, really hard. I think
Yeah.
once you kind of like absorb into a project though, and so you get something that you're kind of excited to wake up for in a sense.
Yeah.
That's true.
That I feel like that's kind of what greases the engine for the most part. But
On a similar note, when going back to old projects and trying to like stem them out, I feel like it's kind of a project. Whereas once you get the first one done, you're kind of like, oh
yeah, on a roll, yeah.
yeah, I can just do like 6 of these over the next couple of weeks. That's not bad at all.
For sure.
Like
And-
it doesn't seem.
Totally.
Are you stemming them out like group basis, or are you actually doing individual tracks?
I am stemming them out. I like to mix from everything being at 0, limited to 0. So I just go through a track. I take every single channel, put a limiter on it with the oversampling.
God bless you, sir.
And,
How many tracks are we talking like on average on that?
I don't get too hefty with my trackage.
For sure.
It's probably
Yeah.
like
With VSTs nowadays, you don't. Really need to.
it's maybe 30
For sure.
tops
Hell yeah.
of amount of.
Respectable.
Yeah.
I mean, I go through a fuck ton to get to those 30.
Oh yeah.
But by the end, it's kind of like 30.
Consolidating.
And I think I'm overestimating too. It's probably even less than 30.
Well, that's
On
good.
yeah.
Yeah, especially when you get in the final mix down and mastering process, that's gonna help tremendously for sure.
Right, and a track worth bringing over usually has less stems for me, at least.
For sure.
Like most of the tracks that I listen to that are old school, if they're like busy and whatever, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna deal with that. Like,
My mom did give me my Ritalin today. I can't listen to this shit.
yeah,
Like, this is not
exactly.
worth plugging
I'm just
through.
gonna find the ones that like hit immediately, and I'm like, oh, those are good. Okay, let's
For sure.
jot them one down. And with the kind of house we're used to making, it's usually pretty simplistic.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but still, it's about the nuances. I feel.
Right. Well, for sure.
Yeah.
That's
The interesting part in there is like trying to, as you go and look through the tracks and what you're bringing over, understand where the nuance is and like what you can delete. Like I'm pulling off, obviously like group effects are not coming with.
right.
And then like, luckily so far, I've been doing no automation on my groups from these old tracks. I know. I'm wild back in the day, dude.
Come on.
I honestly wasn't doing a ton of automating in most of these tunes I've been
That's
working on
surprising.
recently.
I mean, you don't need a lot of automation when you have modulation.
True. Do you do busing a lot, or
just like
like I mean, just returns or...
different kinds of bussing for sure.
Oh, what's up, Hoopla? How are we,
Puplo.
bruh?
Yo, buddy.
Oh, brava.
Shout out, Drew.
I couldn't read his fucking
go.
name from up there. What up, Drew? Oh, that's your name?
Yeah.
Come on the pod, baby. Let's
He
go.
lives
The
in,
doctor knows.
Boston.
He lives where?
Boston.
Sick. Let's get out here.
Hey,
He's
get
had a
that
crazy
muscle
year,
out
honestly.
here. Shit.
Fucking.
Hey.
I can't do it.
I don't know Boston
Forget
either.
about it.
Forget
Boston.
about it.
Fuck
We
it,
in
man.
New York,
Hey,
but it's like close enough.
Cool.
Yeah, you go immediately.
Fucking walking here.
He's from Boston. He's Italian. Kinda, but not really.
Maybe Irish.
I can hear you.
Man and body boo. Anyways, folks, we're not racist at all. We are merely
Stereotypical.
nationalist.
You're racist. For thinking the white person.
Only racist when it comes to Italians, which is still allowed.
It is. They conquered most of the known
They don't care.
world for centuries.
Go
They
ask
fucking-
them. They don't
Previously,
mind.
access
deal with it.
power.
Yeah. Well, that too. That too. But
saying,
I
man.
mean, let's not even forget Rome. All right. Okay. Never forget,
Jesus.
guys. Never forget.
At two brute.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So anyway,
Anyways.
so I will take every single fucking, even the noise. Every once in a while, maybe not, but for the most part, even like noise hits, I just bring them all to 0. which is a fun moment when I go to mix it and I just push play just because everything's at 0 already. It just gets destroyed into a limiter at the end. You're like, oh, fuck.
Speaking on limiters too, like, do you mess with your attack and release like finitely, or do you just kind of set it generally?
Depends.
I set it generally for the most part.
Mostly generally.
If I hear distortion, then I'm gonna adjust it.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, one of my
No, go ahead.
One of my favorite things to do is if I'm concerned that the limiter is doing a thing, like if I hear a little bit of distortion or something weird where my general settings aren't going to do.
General settings.
I'll go...
Shut up, dude. Jesus Christ. Sorry, go ahead.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Just kidding.
No in Italian. Setting your general settings.
Yeah, so you can, on L2, you can listen to the delta, like what it's taking out.
Oh, yeah, like the artifacts, basically.
Right, so I'll click on that, and I'll see if it's the limiter that's, in fact, distorting things. And if it is, then, yeah, I'll start to, like, fiddle around. But usually...
pro tip.
Yeah, pro tip for
Actually,
sure. Usually,
circumcision.
There's a saturator before that limiter in my master chain, and I can usually just fiddle with that to either like move the distortion where it needs to be to keep it from hitting the limiter too hard.
Right.
Because I'm
getting
using
excess transients.
Right. I have it's usually the black box with mid side, so I can fucking really just tailor shit in.
For sure.
And it's the saturator part, the first phase on the mid side one has a couple different modes than just the normal one. So you can dip, you can boost, you can low pass, high pass, distort, which a lot of times all I got to do is like move where the distortion is.
You said this is black box?
Black box, yeah.
Does it do impulse imaging like for saturation profiles, or is it just
no? It's a tube.
Gotcha.
It's a tube emulation of a real thing. It's the fucking shit.
Yeah. So impulses are basically like. I'm sorry. Before I mansplain impulse, do you guys know what this is?
Are you talking
Depends
about
on what
impulse
kind of
response?
impulses.
So like impulse waves are like basically reference of a natural acoustic like material.
Okay.
So like amps, they'll take impulse imaging, and that's how they do a lot of amp emulators, especially through like Line 6 and shit.
Like a convolution.
Yeah. Kind
Right.
of.
No,
exactly.
no,
Like,
it's not that.
I mean, it's kind of along the same lines.
Right. I get what you're saying, but it's basically it's
an image of a space. It's a little bit more specific than reverb.
right.
In a
No,
sense.
and I mean, I would call that a cabinet.
Yeah.
Right. And this,
or it could be, this room could technically be a cabinet.
Sure.
It does
Right.
have,
No, for sure.
points.
True.
Material all
This
included. So
this is what it is
Okay.
here, folks. Let me get you to.
what's the password?
Sweet fish.
Is that with a capital S?
Nope, I fucking messed it up. Sorry, folks. We're tripping acid real quick. Hey.
Shit. I missed my moment.
I need to get my money back for my plug.
All right. Let me get the plug-in back.
Okay.
So you could see here on your trusty screen you have. It's got mid-side, and this saturator is the first phase, and you have quite a few different modes that you can saturate from, and then it goes into these two different tubes, and then out. Which
it's got an air mount too, so is that like a noise generator?
I don't know.
AR?
I think it's a high pass or a high
shelf.
Huh.
I think when I was
Probably.
watching the video, I think that's what it is. It's a little aggressive. It's a little aggressive.
Oh, for sure.
Past 12, it starts getting a little.
He hears that.
Flaky.
I don't hear that as
I
much
mean,
as he does.
Dude, just turn it up louder then. Like, fucking, once you get in that level of saturation, just turn it up. Like, because you can mix it down later, just like for your... I'm getting old as fuck, too, Like, I need to turn shit up because I can't hear dick anymore. Like,
I go back and forth.
Yeah.
for sure.
But you can see the mix is at fucking 22%.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I crank this bad boy because
Common way to
I
use
see.
that shit.
Because she'll fucking clamp.
Oh, yeah.
Clamp hard and really nice, especially with the bottom end.
Okay.
dude.
That's
She
what she
clamps.
said.
She clamps the cheeks real
I've seen her
nice.
do it.
Clamp.
So
Interesting.
I'll do that, and then that's when I adjust the attack and release of my limiter. Bada
Gotcha.
bing.
So, I don't know. So, like, limiting being like a form of compression, I've kind of been playing around with just, honestly, attack and release, and I've been able to bring out a lot more tones and like dynamic expression from my designs. And it's crazy because, like, especially even just like, for example, the glue compressor on Ableton, like, literally those notches, just scroll through them. They very finite difference, but like it makes the difference, especially for the whole whole chain.
Once you learn how to hear that, like that fine change of like the transient being clamped by the attack or the tail being pumped by the release, like it's not too hard if you just slam the threshold, just slam it and then start fucking with it, then you can start to kind of get an idea of what's happening.
Good way to learn.
Yeah. And like train your ear. But man, it is a glorious thing to be able to throw on a compressor and immediately tell the difference between like 2-to-1, 4-to-1, and like a quick attack and a slow attack. You're like, oh, I know exactly what I need.
Definitely help you like figure out all the the bullshit in the back end of your samples or like your fucking your export downs, your resamples.
What I feel like I've gleamed from my like past 8 years of using compressors is that it's not as like intense of a tool as I was brought to believe.
Right.
Like I was brought to believe
so many people overcomplicate it.
Right, like the compressor, they make it seem like it's the hammer of construction. And it's like, no,
hold it backwards.
No, it's more like the wire strippers. Like it's really only for like one very specific part of what's happening, and there's no other tool for the job.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like it is just automated volume control.
Right.
Sentient.
Right. Precisely. And you
that's basically what a limiter is.
Tell it how to exist.
Yeah. Totally.
Well, you
still a compressor.
You're just adjusting how it reacts. Exactly. That's all you're trying to do. You're like, I want you to turn down at a certain threshold, and this is how I want you to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was going through these old tunes, and like as I'm printing the individual channels, I'm like kind of cursory. I'm trying not to spend too much time, but I'm like looking through my effects as I did them.
Good luck.
And I'm like, I'm literally going through and like just turning compressors down. Like
it's literally
I just do I just push the threshold to where it's like, okay, it's barely kind of touching it now. And then I'll look, because I'm always doing the glue compressor, like soft clipper clipping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, make sure it's just barely hitting that clipper. Okay, cool. And then
sipping whiskey.
Yeah, and then I'll just push it up to a limiter at the end, and that's good.
Oh yeah,
right.
But I was fully thinking about compressors coming into the podcast today, because
that's funny. You feeling a little compressed today?
I think.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'll be here for another.
I will. God. I feel like compressors are useful in like a few ways. And for the most part, it's like such an easy thing to like figure out. Well,
in context,
it's
it could be
easy for
very
me
difficult.
now.
Yes,
right,
100%.
But like back in the day, it was fucking hard as fuck to figure out. But it is as simple as, if you want to make it less dynamically varied. So if you have you have a thing like my voice that gets loud and then gets quiet, and then it gets loud and then it gets quiet, but you kind of want it all to sit at the same volume. Then you can do a super quick attack.
Squash. Yep.
And then a like medium to shortish release, and squish down as much as you need, as long as it doesn't start fucking distorting the shit out of it. And but hopefully it's not a super fucking dynamic fucking sound before that.
Right.
You might have to go in and do it manually if that's the case. But
right.
Yeah.
I would
Mazel tov.
Pen down.
Continue.
I would add to that, your ratio then determines kind of how aggressive it is on
how big your room is.
paper, but yes, correct.
You're just literally
it's
squashing the ceiling and floor.
Right. It depends on.
True.
It's really adjusting like the depth of the compression.
And like
if
honestly, like your entire composition, if you have a lot of shit that's just mixed down for texture, you don't know what to add. Currently later on, all that shit gets squashed, so all of your loud parts are just over exemplified.
yeah, right.
And quiet parts are audible now.
Right. You lose entire depth of field.
Right.
Because like a fast attack basically ensures that if you increase the ratio and your threshold, you can push it back. Because the farther things away are, the more compressed by air they are, and the less attack they're going to have. Whereas if the moment you increase that attack, you're now kind of artificially like
forcing things into a kind
right.
of a fucking state.
Right, which is kind of the cool part of
it.
compression is you can artificially like push something into the foreground where its body is sitting in the back.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I was gonna say. I will use that hard style compression to hard style. And I will I just use it to calm dynamics. And then from there,
Sorry.
This guy's listening to that nightcore over here.
Dude. All right.
obviously. And then from there, you get to choose
Right.
with an attack ratio and release how far back you want it to be or how far forward.
Right.
Which is a nice place to be. Which hopefully your sound doesn't need like a lot of like electronic music. You're probably using a synthesizer.
Synthesis.
You use a synthesizer.
Synthesizer.
Go on.
Yeah. So
gotta have the
synthesizers are
synthesizers.
typically not like weirdly dynamic.
What was
Like,
it again? What's not weirdly dynamic?
synthesizer.
Okay. I just want to make sure I got that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
No, I mean, fucking. With their outputs, they're kind of designed to be, pretty consistent.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, if
Pretty
you have
binary.
a synthesizer outside of a modular unit, you can actually have controllable, velocity and variability in that sense, which
Right.
can be a pain in the ass.
You have to
but-
build it in.
Exactly.
You have to
Right.
build the dynamics
But-
in. So at that point, might as well build the correct amount of dynamics that you would like.
Anything analog though is always going to have a, some semblance of an
Right.
onboard compressor in a sense,
Right.
just to kind of equivalent it.
Yeah,
Flipper.
I mean, it's a saturator. Yeah, I mean, a saturator is another form of compression. It's
True.
just
I mean,
it's
yeah,
just a trimmer.
Exactly. Anything with gain on it.
Yeah.
Even utility is technically kind of a pseudo
Right,
saturator.
for sure.
It compresses it kind of like a file gets compressed. You
Right,
know,
right.
It
just
gets rid of some of the things it doesn't need and adds things back in to
Just
make
like
it
my
fit
neck when
better.
I'm fucking making this shit. Just compressed. It's hella compressed. Remember to stretch.
Oh shit!
Pro
Remember to
tip.
stretch, folks.
You gotta do
Speaking of
this.
that, we're gonna do a quick commercial break, folks, and we'll be
yeah.
right. This commercial break is brought to you by. Right, folks. And welcome back. We are live, folks. So before the break,
I fucking love that product.
it's the best product. Folks, you
Put it
can
on your grandma. Put it
you
on
can
your
go to
cereal.
always400.com for information on that product you just witnessed. Also, if you have questions about compression, limiting, saturation, go to our Discord, ! Discord in the chat. I'll do it for you guys.
I was gonna say, don't hit us up. It's a long conversation, unless you got a day. set
Hit us
aside.
up. We are available. We are available to be hit up. This is what we're doing
100%.
here.
Yeah, no.
Hit us the fuck up.
But 100% reconcile. It's gonna take a full day.
It will. It will.
It will.
Yeah. You might have to pay us if you want the full day, but
Sure.
I'll take jokes as currency.
Jesus.
Yeah, me too.
Fuck the economy.
If you're watching this on YouTube, you can go to always400.com for the links to the Discord. So back to compression real quick, guys.
boy.
okay. Yes.
I just want to emphasize the
Not a compression joke.
Sorry. What's the word I'm looking for? The fine tuning that a compressor is supposed
Yes.
to do.
Yes.
Like it's not.
Please do.
It can be used in a broad spectrum. Like you can put kind of a glue style on your group to kind of ride the whole thing to kind of give it a little more dynamic character back. But at least for me, most of the time, if I'm using a compressor, it's very specific. For example, if I have a vocal that I myself record.
Just to clarify real quick, like you're talking digital, not analog compressor in this sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
For sure.
A digital. I have no real experience with analog compressors.
No,
so
man, they're expensive as hell.
yeah, I know.
Not to say right.
It's not
No,
true.
you're
He didn't say that. In case it's in his...
Oh, I mean, I've dealt with plenty of
Yeah,
analog
of course.
compressors.
Obviously.
Just no.
You just don't
analog
have any
compressors.
right now.
Right.
Right. I'm not currently
Yeah,
using
no,
any.
it's fine.
I mean, 15 years is 15 years, you know? You don't forget.
Yeah, exactly.
But
It's like riding a bike, really.
I haven't
yourself.
fucked with any recent analog compressors that have come out in the last 15 years.
For sure.
I'm like 45 years old.
What do you say here?
I
know all about the faders.
No, but in terms of digital and you're fine. For the most part, C2 Fab filter shout out.
Fucking CT.
I fucking love that compressor to death. But if I'm doing a vocal that I record, I know right off the bat, looking at the mini meters that's right here, as I'm talking, blah 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 blah
Blah, 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 blah.
Right, I'm gonna need a fair amount of kind of juicing to kind of just push all my mids down and my low highs up. Just because I know, judging on my voice when I've EQ'd it multiple times, that I can, before the EQ, I can help the overall sound of my voice just with a compressor by slamming that bitch into vocal mode. And
vocal mode on C2
vocal
is
mode on
sick
C2
as
is the
fuck.
shit.
We've repped it so many times, but
that goes the exact same for like a pad.
so good.
Yeah,
That if I have a pad that swells and I want it to swell fairly large, like in terms of how much it opens and how big it kind of gets in its dimensions, I want to push it back pretty far, and I'm going to want to compress it pretty
Because you want the transients.
heavily. Well, I want a lack of
Okay, so you want it a little bit sharper then.
Right,
so
right.
You're gonna do a kind of like what I do for drums is like a long attack, short release.
Correct.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
getting that initial.
Well, yeah.
And
So
then equivalating that the tails.
right, and you can
Gotcha.
you can adjust the release to kind of like ride the tail of.
It's kind of a nice little graphic thing for you.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Right. And with something like that, I'm specifically looking for this swell when it's quiet. I want that quiet part to be fairly up close, and I want you to hear that it's there. And then as it starts to open, I want it to get like not just thrown out of proportion. I want it to stay far away, so you think that it's really big and really far away.
It's free textures, man.
Yep.
Right, and you're not going to do that by just turning it down. Like you
not at all.
need the compressor to kind of fake your ears.
I think you're just bringing out
True.
elements that naturally exist. I mean, like
Right, you're mimicking it.
the whole premise is like low end waves carry such a large amplitude, but they have a great
Right, I mean-
frequency. Those carry on to the high ends. High ends are obviously going to have a quicker frequency,
Right,
shorter wavelengths.
they're a
so
little bit more excited.
that carries over exactly.
They
so
come a little bit faster.
I'm done. Oh, fucking, I can relate.
You, me, but
anyway, no. So I've been finding out, like doing, like surgical. Thank you.
you're welcome.
We'll meet on Thursday. We'll talk about this.
Of course, every Thursday.
If you surgically, I guess not surgically, but if you really focus on your low end of like where your carrier waves are coming from, it makes compression so much fucking easier.
Oh, sure. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, if you just kind of slice out or notch, or just like shelf your fucking, 30,
Well, yeah,
30
that's huge.
before the huge mud butt shit, you can start to shape where your carrier waves harmonically are going to go up the chain. And then you use attack and release to kind of, finite what you're going to do with that. I've saved myself so many gray hairs by doing that shit, but yeah, obviously
That's kind of.
So you're doing some shelving before you compress,
right? I mean, it depends on
That's
like
what
what
you're
I'm
talking about.
I usually always EQ before I compress because
to preserve any
harmonics.
frequency you need to.
Yeah, you're getting.
I should do
extra
that too.
modulation that
I mean,
you
that's
don't
the same.
need.
That's the same.
I do it with saturation.
It's the same, right?
With
it's
clipping.
right?
Yeah.
It's the same mentality as pushing down your fundamental before you clip, so that your
Correct.
bottom end doesn't
100%.
fucking just die.
Yeah, early on, I remember with John, he was showing me this like, yeah, you clip your fucking fundamental to get like the fundamental, like
You just take it.
I would boost the fuck out of my fundamentals because I was like, oh, John says this is like a good thing to do.
Fuck yeah.
Which it's not a bad thing to do.
No, it's just
Everybody, but it's
in the
not
chain.
the way I like my shit to sound typically. Typically, I'm like, I want the fundamental to stay pretty preserved as itself,
Yeah,
and
as a
then
carrier.
I'm gonna want to,
100%.
like, I would like it to kind of sound like kind of clean and fucking.
It's the principle
There's
behind
that
radio
fucking
too, you
fundamental,
know? That's
baby.
the amplitude that's going to be carrying out over your entire fucking series.
Yeah,
your entire harmonic
yeah,
series.
it's carrying the
Yep.
fucking shit.
Carrier waves, man.
Yep.
This is like you're listening to a radio station. Imagine if they're like
Carrier
EQ'd
waves,
fucking,
dude.
93.3 just slightly. I don't know, fucking. Like, let's cut it down to like, maybe 9.2, 9.24. Like, everybody's confused for a day and mid-Denver fucking lose their minds.
Why does my radio sound like shit?
It's called experimental. You don't understand.
Yeah, and all of these elements could be translated to a limiter. Not to cut you guys off, but back to what you originally kind of brought up with the attack and release.
I mean, limiters are,
I do that on
compressors.
my masters constantly.
Same.
I do a shelf on the low end with a really slow curve up and just like kind of push it down until I can stick it into the limiter a little bit more, and then I'm like, all right, this is enough or not enough or whatever.
Are you EQing on your limiter then? You guys use L2, right?
Pre-limiter.
Okay. Pre-limiter. Okay.
Right,
For
like
sure.
with the Pro Q.
Yeah.
Why? What?
Oh,
are you talking
I'm
about?
just wondering because like. What
are you talking about?
I've seen.
What are you fucking saying, bro?
Well, there's like. Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, calm down. Guys, please go on. Thank you.
Sound just like my father. I'm just kidding. But anyway,
Fucking
like
good.
there's like reverb units. They have specific EQing measurements. I've seen some
Right.
limiters. I
Oh,
can't
yeah,
really
yeah,
recall specifically. Like it's basic, almost like a multi-band dynamic compressor in a sense, where you can actually pick
don't
your
even get me
bands.
started.
Yeah, no, we just got into compression. We don't need to bring in multi-band into this shit, but. I was just kind of curious, like, I still feel L2 is kind of the standard,
The
and
goat.
Smart Comp is actually a really good like referencer. And
I've been
same
using
with Smart Limit.
Yeah, smart limit. I've been using on my master, but
It's good for transients.
it's
and
not.
spectral shifts.
Yeah, it's not always my favorite for the end all be all though.
It's not as smart as you think it is.
No, but I like to have it like
glasses.
I like to have it read like the thing and tell me like what it's kind of like
Right.
compilate what its algorithm is telling
Man,
me.
it's such a good metering unit.
And
like, I
then-
swear to God.
Right, and
Distortion
then
metering and shit,
I'll like
yeah.
kind of look at that and pull it into a different limiter, whether it's the Discord or the Discord one, the Bedwig. The Discord limiter actually
The Discord limiter goes hard.
actually
dude.
goes hard, dude. You have no
Dude,
idea.
you don't know about the Discord limiter
What you know
until
about
you know.
noise
You
gates.
could get to it by going to Always 400's Discord on always400.com.
.com.
.com.
That's right.
Not .com.
Always 400.
.com.
.com.
Yeah, smart limit's pretty cool. It is
It is.
great for metering. It's
I've been
fucking
using
saucy.
it more as a reference unit
So-
too. I'll actually stack that on top of L2.
So what I've been doing,
Sorry.
speaking of multiband, multiband,
Talk crazy to me, guys. What the fuck?
multiband, multiband,
It's like one band, but like
multiple.
if it was
multiple,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Of
it's
the
multiband.
frequency,
like
like
a
multiple-
couple, like
like at least 3.
yeah.
Yeah, you heard of Money Band.
So what I've
That's
been doing is I've been doing a multiband limiter And I'll use the multiband limiter to like limit, but I'll usually just like have one on the limiter or on the master to reference, because referencing my reference track through the multiband limiter lets me see like usually the lows and the highs are at a certain kind of similar peak, and the mids are like louder to a significant degree. So you can kind of just immediately start basing your like balancing off of what you're trying to reference just based on the multiband limiting. Like if you're used to the limiter that you're used to, for me, I've used L2 forever, so it's like really easy to throw that into a multiband and immediately be like, oh, I can make that happen. Yep. And I can just like fucking try and like recreate that.
But it definitely kind of helps you hear more dynamics of shit that you've overly like EQ'd or mixed, you know, throughout your track for sure.
Right. You can see
you can isolate it, be like freeze.
Right. You not only get to see you not only get to see the levels of each one of those bands, but you're seeing the transients. Yeah. And yes, you can solo each one. Exactly. But just being able to like see how it correlates in a view that I've never really like thought to reference in. I'll reference in a limiter, but like not like that. Right. Like that was like it kind of put a whole new spin on it.
I mean, you know, 100%.
Which was kind of fun.
Like with L2 too. I mean, that RMS meter or like loudness meter. You guys use Flux?
I did it. Still, it stopped working. Now I had to use.
I think it works for me still.
Superior, a superior program.
Have my people call your people.
It's called Vision.
Vision. Huh.
It's not the thing that 4K? We're using here, mini meters.
No, this is mini meters.
No, I know that.
Mini meters is fine, but
the Vision one's pretty fucking dope.
Vision is sick
for sure.
It's
I don't have it, but that's because my Flux hasn't broken yet.
Yeah, that's true.
I like that. Dr. MD PhD is just written on here.
Doctor.
He said it's called Vision, just VISON.
Vision, like Noisea's record label.
Okay, for sure.
It's Vision 4K.
It's their shit.
Hell yeah. Fun fact too. Did you know that the developers of Mini Meters actually have a game based on built on the Unity engine called A Firm Handshake?
Oh.
It's a game you could beat in probably about 15 minutes.
What is it about?
You just walk around and shake people's hands. It's $2. Go pick it up. Support the devs.
Like, I like these guys.
Same. Like fucking honestly, if you like Mini Meters, go pick up A Firm Handshake. It's a good laugh.
They don't even want to know about our fucking dubstep game.
No, fuck
it.
They
don't want to know, dude.
Always 400 has a game.
Oh boy,
it has not been developed yet, but
we have a game.
It's gonna do a lot better than shaking people's hands. I'll tell you
100%, dude.
Hell yeah! I'll sign some NDRs. We'll talk about
it. You got it.
The fucking. Do you guys use the what is it called? Oversampling feature on L2?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you have a specific set oversample rate that you set, or
when I'm just working, I don't usually oversample it, but when I'm gonna like print a version that I know we're gonna like play or we're gonna like try and release or whatever, then I'm gonna just go full bore.
32. Holy shit! Yeah. Fucking grip it and rip it.
Well, I listen to everything, make sure everything's good, and then I just oversample the whole project. Don't hit play. Or the computer will burn.
You do not want to hit play.
And then save as and say like it's a oversampled to fuck. Don't hit play or whatever.
I'm like almost the opposite of this. I have my L2 defaulted at 8 times.
I do 4,
and I never touch it.
Fucking dude, I find so much solace in 4 because. Like, basically what oversampling is doing is, like, removing Nyquist, all those external modulative shit. It's like the reverse.
These people know. This is an advanced production podcast,
Sorry, excuse me for mansplaining. I am 30 years old and very white, so...
yeah, watch your tongue.
Yeah, bro. You are pretty white.
Dude, I had to fight off so many photographers on my way over here. They wanted to use me as a reflector for
makes sense.
Oh, wow.
It's nice to be noticed.
Come on, guys.
No, but I've noticed like in the lower ranges, especially if you're just doing them on like group channels, when you're sending it overall to the main limiter that you have, it's helped me with like transient mixing. But again, it's entirely context sensitive. I want to say like it depends on what the
oversampling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I think
2 to
it's
4
the
I find the
best.
sweet
After
spot.
like watch everybody go watch the fucking Dan Warhol on oversampling.
Damn world.
now
And
here
you
we're
will
just
never
gonna
want to do anything that doesn't oversample again because he fucking explains why it sucks.
He's like, we're
And
gonna
it-
cut a goat's throat here, and then we're gonna just go ahead and add a little bit of saturation here. Now this song's done. It sounds like a pro fucking
now you
song.
Man,
Yeah.
that's amazing. You sound exactly like Dan
No, thank
Warhol,
you.
dude. The voice.
Damn it, book it.
Doesn't he?
Hello, my
He,
name's Dan Warhol.
Wow.
Hey, mate.
wow, that sounds just like him.
Ain't it sound like him?
Jesus.
Jesus.
You like digs?
I'm Dan
You like
Warhol,
pigs?
ain't it?
What? What did he say?
Yo, fuck it, dude.
Dogs.
No, dogs. Yeah, I like dogs.
Yeah, like dogs.
No, Dan Warhol's a fucking wizard.
He
man.
is the best.
Anybody wants some fucking humbling, go watch Dan Warhol.
We
Oh
will
my
pay
God.
Dan Warhol to come on this podcast.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
But
I'll pay him
he's
just
in
to spit on me.
the
Like,
UK,
please.
so
Yeah, he
it's
could
a-
spit in my mouth.
It's
Yeah,
kind of an
forget it.
expensive one, but
Just want something.
we
He's got
would
something.
we would do it, Dan.
Shout out to you, Dan Warhol.
Yeah.
Warhol.
Excuse me. Warhol. Yeah.
Did you guys hear his
Andy
loudness
Warhol?
challenge track?
Of course.
Did you look at it
He-
in the meter?
Yeah, he beat it.
Fucking, I called the police and
Yeah.
they're like, we can't help you. And I was like, why? I'm like, it's plus 2. This is legit.
Sending
This
out
RMS is
an
like literally
SOS.
-1. This is not feasible. It's all
Right.
squares, but it's so fucking finite.
Right.
This guy's gonna fucking commit another attack when George Bush is learning how to read.
Whoa. W?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he supposed to learn how to read?
I mean, he was trying to during 9/11, but then he got interrupted.
Oh,
You
that's right,
talking
he did.
trash on George?
No,
Duh.
no, 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 no. I'm just saying it's sad for him because like that was the first time
Bro,
he was reading
in
to
America?
That's our president, Dub.
In
he
America,
was
you're
reading to-
slandering Mr. Bush? President?
I can't do
George
senior.
Dub?
Senior, I would be tossed in a trunk and put in a burlap sack. But
Whoa.
George, I mean, I just feel bad for the dude. He was trying to learn to read to a bunch of elementary school kids. Well, fuck his dreams. 9/11 happens.
We're sponsored by the RNC, so watch your mouth.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
We don't necessarily need to.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we don't need to bring out
We
the
strike that from the
validity
record,
of
please.
9/11.
Oh no, no.
I don't need.
I'm just saying I feel bad for
It's
George.
not a conspiracy podcast.
I'm just saying I feel bad for George.
Why do you feel bad for George?
Because he was trying to learn how to read. And then this shit happens,
Oh.
and now he can't fucking learn how to read. Like,
Yeah.
That's true.
he doesn't know what Spot
That's
did.
true.
He just
That's
saw
true.
He just saw
Yep.
Spot.
He was distracted.
Get through it all.
But we
Sorry.
need
Fucking-
him. We need him distracted. It's fine.
Anyway.
We need
It's
him
hard.
behind the fucking canvas.
Give the
Just
fucker-
fucking giving us the...
Yeah.
Let's give him a pair
Beautiful
of keys. He'll
art.
be off to town.
How's this look, honey?
Yeah. Hey,
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 man.
can I bring this over to
hey, honey.
I never.
fucking...
Check this out.
Hey.
Right here.
Hey, we're gonna bring this over to Epstein's Island.
Hey, Laura.
get
come
all
check
those,
this out.
these
Bullshit.
fucking children's.
You
to
think
check
George
out
Bush
my painting?
compresses?
Do you think he? Oh, he compresses.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Him and Laura compress. Compress.
Compression.
Compish. You know what I'm saying?
Compressing.
Hey,
Hey, listen, this is our
What
broadcast.
was your mother think? Hey.
This is what happens. Sometimes we divulge into,
God bless
you know, we're from fucking Boston.
I did say
you
I
get
was a
it.
doctor
Hey.
with
Hey.
ADHD, so
That's true.
I bring out the what's that? Oh, never mind.
That's an 808.
There's an anywhere right there, and a nice plant,
shit.
which we've been keeping healthy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Is that a rubber plant?
No, it's a ficus.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to get some juniper
Glad
in
it's
here.
not just a fike you. It's a fike us.
Yeah, it's ficus.
Nice.
Fike me.
Um,
Fike you. Fike us.
I scream, you scream, we all scream, fuck you.
Twins, Basil.
Twins, Basil.
Oh, God.
Ah, so good.
Too much nostalgia. Anyway.
Well, folks, that brings us to our lightning round.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Daily
shit.
Daily. You don't have a daily double sound effects?
Always 400.
No, but
Hey,
Ah,
hey, get your own sound
I got
effects,
you.
motherfucker.
I fucking.
we should
And
get
much
don't,
money
be,
you
don't
got?
be fucking
I'll get
shitting
some.
on our sound effects,
I'm not
bro.
shitting on your sound effects. I'm just
Hey.
saying daily double, man. It's a good.
Yeah, more radio style effects is a good idea.
100%.
Coming this Sunday.
It's on pay-per-view
Oh, dude.
Toyotathon.
Right,
Yeah.
Now
All right,
with
I'll write
August
it down. I'll write it down.
right.
Daily double.
No,
Daily double.
I've got a couple of self-built soundboards from just like stupid ass me videos and Foley that I could send you guys.
I do
You still
not.
have
Please do.
Ableton, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what this is on.
Okay, for sure. Is it just drum rack?
What?
Yes.
Drum rack.
Yeah, cool.
It is a drum rack.
For sure.
Hooked up to a MIDI.
And then you can, I've got a MIDI fighter myself.
Gyro, baby.
You can switch tracks with the side buttons if you MIDI program it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
there's some side buttons over
I
here.
got a couple I could throw you guys' way.
Bet, son.
Hell yeah. I just, you guys ever seen So I Married an Ex-Murderer?
I haven't
It's
seen
with
it.
Michael
I know
Myers.
of it.
Yeah. So there's this, he does slam poetry in it, and he's trying to get a chick back. He's standing on a rooftop. And the jazz music behind it, he's got like a fucking stand-up bass player, a drummer, and a trumpet player, and the jazz that they play behind his stupid fucking poem is so generic. I took a recording, I resampled it into Ableton, and then split it. I forget the name of the fucking program. It's not Spleeter. I did a sample through Spleeter too, just to see which one would do better with it. But
Sure.
took out the instrumentation for that generic ass jazz, like do 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 do. I named it when people start to explain conspiracies in Discord chats. So anytime somebody goes off on a fucking rant on a conspiracy, it's literally the perfect fucking.
That sounds
perfect thing to play.
Yeah, I want that on
So
here.
if you got anybody going on a tangent about
I would love to have some
some
soundboard effects that are specifically to troll the guest for talking some shit.
Yeah, right.
Just like when the guest goes on a thing where you're like,
Jeopardy.
Fuck
what
that.
the
You guys
fuck
don't
is
even gotta
this
pay me.
person saying?
I'll come
Like,
through with a flexatone. Fuck it. I'll come with a full Foley set. Like I've been training percussion. I'll do that shit live. Like,
Don't we have? Yeah, that's
something like
Hell
that's
yeah.
good. Yeah.
no, I'll fucking seriously do Foley for you guys live if you need it. Bring the whips and shit. Fuck it.
When they're talking about compression, but they don't actually know.
Right.
They accidentally fall off their chairs. I'll need two. I'll bring a friend.
Please do.
He's trained too.
Oh, he's trained
Oh yeah.
in what?
Percussion.
Clone?
We used to do what was it? I guess just auxiliary percussion.
Oh, fuck yeah.
In,
Like
in classical ensembles, yeah.
Marimba and shit.
Yeah.
Dude,
four
no,
mallets
marimba's
all the way.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, all right. Sick.
yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
But we know how to play, unfortunately, a lot of things that make noise.
I also love Ox.
Yeah.
Ox is the
Dude,
shit.
Foley's so
Ox.
fascinating, seriously.
It's
I think we
so
talked
much
about
fun.
this like either last or the time before last, but Foley's fucking really fascinating. I love doing it. Like, I want to do it live just to really fuck with people. Like, you don't need a computer. You just need, like, you just need a slide whistle, a pair of crash cymbals. just walking downtown Denver. Fucking
Right.
See a hobo eat shit. Just-
All right, let's start this lightning round,
yeah,
folks.
sorry.
Here we go, folks. We're going to start the lightning round.
Rude boy.
Bristol.
Yes, son. Okay. Good handle that one.
Yeah.
All right. Your favorite clipper currently? You don't have to go first. I can go first.
Fozlab's Big Clipper.
Big
Is
Clipper
it
1?
FOC? Honestly, I haven't tried 2 yet.
2 is sick.
Okay.
But I think I agree.
John brought up 2.
2 is good, but I like 1 as well.
I just don't like the fucking EQ on that shit.
Sure. 2, they're both very coloring.
Sure.
But they're really nice. I will go with M Wave Shaper, which is my usual.
That's a good one.
I should do that one. I just never use it. I just use Bitwig's
Baby Satch.
saturator.
Yeah, shit.
Yep.
Big ups. Folks in chat, you are allowed
It's a wave shaper.
to answer.
Yep. If there's
Vote
anyone
on your
out there.
phones now.
Or don't. If you don't, you are going to hell. Favorite spectrum? What you use to view your frequency?
I use a
frequency
combo of
spectrum.
flux and millimeters.
Okay.
I think they're both good reference points. on
My
that.
biggest one is EQ Pro Q3. I use that to
shit.
yeah. I just use
Because
it.
you can like hover in the background. And
Yeah,
freeze
yeah,
it.
yeah, and I just use it for like almost everything, so it translates really nice when I'm trying to like look at a bunch of things.
Fair point.
It's either Pro Q or just like the stock Bitwig EQ.
Dude, what happened to fucking JS oscillator or fucking JO oscillator?
I don't know what that is.
It died off.
It's an old Max for Live, like kind of like what
Oh, okay.
What the fuck?
See, we don't speak Ableton anymore,
Yeah,
so
That's fair.
we lost our tongue.
Oh, dude, Max for Live will make you fucking pull your hair out sometimes, I swear.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Next question. Your preferred way to write melodies. And folks, let us remind the audience that all of these retarded questions were sent in by viewers.
Mentally disparaged
Thank you.
for the sponsors.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we are sponsored by the Catholic Church
and by
the
retarded.
RNC.
It's 14-year. Oh, I can't say it.
Dumb.
No, just yeah, dumb.
Our dumb listeners, yes.
No, they're not dumb. The questions are dumb.
They're neurally divergent.
Yeah.
But they're really handsome and beautiful doing it, too.
And they
Sure.
we
Takes
love
one
them.
to know one,
What
though.
was this? What was the question?
Preferred way to write melodies. I'll go first.
Sure.
I like a little bit of half and half. I'll do a little bit on my keyboard, my MIDI thing, and then that's like 30%, 70% is programmed.
Plug out like a structure, basically, and then just kind of mallet on that.
No, like whatever I come up with on the keyboard is pretty close to what I'm trying to go for.
Okay.
But I won't like hit record and just like do that.
Gotcha.
I'll just like come up with it and then I'll sit there and start programming it
Gotcha.
and then
Yeah,
program it to a little more perfection.
I
So
see.
yeah,
So you put
yeah.
down
I
a
guess
foundation, basically, and you kind of mallet around that
yeah,
just based on editing.
right,
Okay.
right. But it's a mix of free for all and then like straight up piano roll.
For sure.
Yeah.
This
is kind of a hard question for me, so I'm going to take a second to think about it if you
All
want
right,
to
yeah.
next.
I set in
Well said.
our arpeggiator. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, arpeggiator.
I will set an arpeggiator in Bitwig to random mode.
Oh, the best.
And
Track
then
it down.
I will randomize timing and speed and shit. And then I will put a chord that's like big that has a bunch of things that I want in there. And then I'll just record that and then take chunks that I like out of it.
Beautiful.
That's fair. Fuck yeah.
Beautiful.
No, that's a good way to write quick.
Let the god
points,
of random
points.
take control.
God of random.
The god of
Computer
RNG.
music over here. I'm a
Yeah.
cheese ball.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
you let the god of RNG
I can't do
choose.
For my next trick, I will commit tax fraud. I'm just kidding. But yes,
Is this on record?
I deny all allegations for any auditing towards tax fraud.
Allegedly.
I pay my taxes.
Yeah, allegedly pay your taxes.
It may not be monetary every time, but no, I don't know. I have. It's different every time because like when
okay.
I grew up playing like live music. I was in jazz drumming and like drum percussion programs, piano programs for conservatories for jazz for about 8-9 years. And then I played in the classical ensembles. I played in the Colorado Youth Symphonic Orchestra. I've been all throughout and I've studied music quite intensively. That's kind of where the name Doct3r ended up with.
Yeah.
It's
MD.
not that I'm proud of my education. It's just that me and my friends would joke in these classes like, "Oh, what are you gonna do after this?" It's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get my doctorate in music." It's like, okay, so fucking have fun like living in a refrigerator box. Like it's just kind of silly, It's the same thing as fucking like not to compare the qualities of professions, but like physicists, they only get paid in grants because there's a lot of shit that people want to pay to study.
Right.
So I kind of named myself doctor for that particular reason. That's why it's got the 3 instead of the second O. Because it's neurally divergent to want to progress in that. It's going to be a struggle. Thank you. But for like melodies, dude, I usually use Rhodes a lot as references.
Yeah.
Just for counterpoints and to hear like where my melodies and my harmonies are going to sit. And just simple basses, or just tack out something that in live instrumentation or.
Yeah. So it does just kind of you just sit there and like
it
jam
fluctuates every
around
time,
to some point.
I could take like a guitar recording and just tuck it down to piano, fucking transpose, add bass chords.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely like 1 in 6 songs. I'll just negate any form of MIDI melody, and I'll just bring in samples and just start arranging them till they just make a melody.
No, all you need is your counterpoints.
Super fun. Right, right.
You just need
all you need is contrast.
Yep.
Contrast.
As my mom calls it, hot dogging. You can put the hot dogging in later. I was hoping for the wop, 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 wop. Thank you. Anyway,
on the next question here, sent in by. I'm not going to read that out loud. It's very,
Yeah, I don't
very
think you can
inappropriate.
legally.
No,
Holy
it's very
shit.
inappropriate. He asked
Who
this
names their
one
kids that?
on X. Go ahead and follow us on X. Good luck, because we don't exist on there. Favorite?
We should though.
In time.
We will exist on there.
And any question that's
Don't
like
you worry.
favorite, just give an example that you think is neat. You know,
sure.
whatever. Nobody's judging you.
Oh, man. Only Judy can judge you.
That's true. Favorite Foley that you've heard
shit.
in a project recently, whether it's music, a movie, a TV show, an audio drama, like some.
Buddy once told me the world is...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I've been kind of taking my breaths and playing video games lately again.
100%.
Deep Rock Galactic has been one I've been...
Deep Rock?
Deep Rock Galactic. It's about dwarves drinking beer and shooting spiders in a cave, and they, it's kind of like a controlled tower defense. I don't know. It's
sounds
weird.
great.
Yeah, no,
Sounds sick.
but like their effects, honestly, I've wanted to ruin the illusion and go back behind the scenes and see if they have any archive or like any kind of documented circumstance on how they made some of these sounds, because they're pretty fucking intense.
Fucking love that.
Same. It's what makes or breaks shit. So
Honestly,
I would say
I was headed in the exact same direction.
Yeah, I would say generally fucking Deep Rock Galactic has some of the best Foley I've heard in a while.
Okay. Yeah, I will go with video games as well. I've been playing Rome Total War 2.
Yo.
And yeah, I mean, I play it on and off all the time. But when you're in a real-time battle engagement, just the being able to swoop around and hear everything just spin around, and you got like the footsteps of the guys. You have thousands of lines of dudes saying random shit. So as you're like getting close to your troops, you just hear a bunch of like conversations happening and a bunch of shit happening.
Oh, weird.
and
Point of
shit.
view,
Yeah.
chick in the 21st century's
Yeah.
DMs on Instagram.
Right, and it's a little like portrayed to some degree, but it's sick, and
No.
there's like a
Makes it real.
right, and there's like usually at the beginning of every battle, your like captain will like do a speech or whatever, and like you can like hear him, kind of thing, and it's like you can tell where he is based on like
not relent.
right.
Do you
right,
guys
there's a
ever
bunch
play
of that.
the actual like
Super fun.
PS1 Medal of Honor? The
Probably.
D-Day one, the U-boats.
Yes. Oh, yes. Classic.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
Very intense.
ahead of its time, honestly.
100%.
The sound was quite kind of similar. Like you could hear all the shit going around you, even
Right.
if you had like a shitty fucking
Right. Two
mono
speaker.
yeah,
fucking
or even just
setup.
like a mono speaker TV or some
Yeah.
shit. Like it
Yeah,
blew
that
my
was-
mind, dude.
That was a good time.
They did some wily stuff.
That one in Call of Duty
Respect.
Rudy 2.
Yeah.
When you played it as Vasily on the Russian front. Dave, your example of your Foley?
Yeah, I've been fucking with AI shit, so I'm watching a bunch of videos on how to kind of get
Audio or visual?
the visual finesse out of the video side of things,
Okay.
and they will commonly have a bunch of Foley going along with video.
Kind of like Stable Diffusion.
That's
or-
kind of where I'm at.
Right, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, runway,
You guys
stable
tried,
diffusion.
I think Midjourney actually.
We've
has a
got some
render.
thoughts. We could talk
video.
to you about them later.
Let's go. Yeah. I got to call my mom and ask her if it's okay, but
Okay, well, call her now. 'cause
Okay.
Speaking of later, is
I talked to her last night. It's fine.
Right now?
My,
Okay,
my second
Yeah, okay.
favorite Foley from
I'll
the
trust
last
you.
recent time.
still not going to call
your
you that, though.
phone call with his mom was your second favorite.
It wasn't a phone call. I'll just say that.
Oh, man.
Zoom call, baby.
I mean,
Yeah.
again, if you need me to call you dad, I will, just for out of respect. But like, so
You
that-
might
I
have
don't
to.
want to.
I don't like that. I don't even
Will
like
you at
it
least,
from
like,
your
hang-
mom, honestly.
Will you hang out with me? Like, take me to the park, maybe?
I got
Maybe.
you. I
Come
got
on,
you, dude.
thank you.
I should do.
Go
I
play
just
golf.
honestly want to come
Oh,
and be
man.
in your environment, you know?
I would love
Zing.
that.
I want to learn about the
environment.
producing and the studio world.
I would
That's what I
love
want to learn about.
What I want to
Let's
learn about is your MD and your MHD and your LSD.